Wait, what fucking... Oh, I'm going to do jumper.
All right.
Great.
You're on? Cool. All right, what's new in Atlanta, Dom?
What's new in Atlanta, Dom? There's got to be something, right?
No. There doesn't have to be.
We got a place attached to Hero. It's for the pitch.
What?
I've told you this.
Yeah. Is this stuff you can announce, though? Can you talk about this IRL?
I don't know.
Okay, then
like
stop.
it's not like a secret. It's just like not an action. It's not.
Sure, it's nothing yet. Don't do
right.
it yet. Wait till you got a thing.
Do
And
it.
it's like, yeah, we have Vince Gilligan on board.
he's
We're doing fucking
very excited.
superhero scrubs. It's gonna be great.
Superhero scrubs.
We did VR.
Vince Gilligan is not
Oh no, I fucked it up. Vince Gilligan is I did that on the Jared Andres episode too.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Breaking Bad versus Scrubs.
He's an NYU boy. That Gilligan, I think, or is it Matthew Weiner?
I don't know.
The guy who does Mad Men.
Nobody cares about your fucking collegiate elitism. Went to community damn. Did you go to college?
I went to community college for like 3 years, and I did not get my 2-year degree.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I was real bad at it. I would go and then
Not working yet.
I don't know. Anytime I would forget to do an assignment, I would just skip class, and then I would be afraid to face those consequences. So I would have like straight A's for the first couple of weeks, and then I would just fuck something up, and then I would just hang out in the pool room with these like autistic kids.
Yeah. No,
Cool.
That's pretty much it. That was what my community college experience was like. I got very good at Marvel versus Capcom and very bad at math.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sweet.
So I don't
Yeah.
know.
There were these there were these kids. No one would use the pool room, so there was these kids like building an arcade cabinet in there and shit. Like the school had no idea what was going on in there.
Community college is such like a magical place because there really will be someone in there like with the full like a Death Star Connect set and they're like putting the whole thing together. Been there for weeks.
Hey, what's up?
I just do this. It's like, do you not have a home to do this in? Like, why?
And then there is just homeless people who are like technically registered, so
Yeah.
they are students. They just don't pay to like take classes.
I'm in a
So
swimming
they're like,
class.
yeah, I'm on the roster. You know, I just print out child pornography in the library. You know, that's fine. You know, you can't stop that guy. What?
There's something so funny about like printing it, just being, just like you're printing out like a resume, like nothing is wrong. Just
Yeah. No, there was this dude. They told him that he couldn't use the internet anymore. That he could only use like the scholarly like reference services because he kept like printing out porn. So then one time I saw him using like the scholarly journal lookup service, it like EBSCO host. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
He was using that to just like look up articles about like 1920s burlesque. He found a way around it, so he was like still printing out titties. That guy ruled. And then he would just like sleep in the planters outside, like in like the mulch.
Dude, he's just like an ultimate sub. He's like, yeah, they brought down my avenues for pleasure, but I'm gonna find it anyway. Descriptions of like a fat stripper from 120 years ago. Hell yes.
Yeah, when you're so horny that you're like traveling through time.
I do know people like that. Just like, yeah, man, you know, like the torpedo titties from the 70s will never have an era like that again. I'm like, what is this desire that you have for 50 years ago?
Yeah.
This is something that you will never, ever accomplish. I don't know, man. Human sexuality is very strange.
It is.
Like,
I know mine's no good.
We were in VR yesterday. Our good
Christ.
friend Michael brought over his Vive, the most high-end headset you can get. And you guys decided to be hilarious to watch porn in it.
It was very funny.
It was.
I mean, it was funny.
You guys, I wasn't there.
It was
Yeah, you
funny.
weren't
No. It was me, Nick, and Brennan. And I immediately I said that this is not going to be funny. You guys are going to get horny because you're in a complete, like, all-encompassing space of erotic feelings. It's like entirely intentionally
You
there to make you
immediately
horny.
forget that you're in a room surrounded by all your boys.
until you lift the flaps and you hear them all laughing at your sad boner. You're getting. It's fucking, I don't know.
We're not doing this again, all right? Because I know what's going to happen. You guys are going to go in the VR, you're going to get all turned on, and then I'm going to have to blow you, okay? I don't want to be there again, okay?
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right.
All right, yeah. We have a soundboard.
I guess now it's time to announce the soundboard.
Yeah. The only sound in the soundboard is farts for when we get horny.
Yeah. We want to think
Bring us
about
back down to earth.
Oh, God, I'm sweating. It's
You guys don't get those horny farts?
Oh, yeah, you know. That's when I
it is.
come. When I come, it's a big horn.
That's my my Dom alarm. I'm not allowed to come, so whenever I
I thought
it
you meant
sets it off, and then the people
Dom,
come. Oh yeah,
Your Dom alarm. It's like, what?
it's connected to our house.
Like, why are you telling everyone how much I care about when you come? Okay, that's like a me and you thing.
Like
That's the thing that we talk about, we text about. You don't need to tell everybody else.
Everybody's just like in the den.
Come and you just solemnly
reading.
dial the phone.
Why did you install that alarm? Tim wanted me to. I don't know. Dude, I'm so friggin'. It's warm. It's warm today.
Because we're talking about all that.
Is that flannel shorts you're wearing?
No,
What is
it's
that?
just drug rug shitty. I have no clothes.
Drug
Our
rug
laundry-
shitty?
Yeah, it's just drug rug shitty.
Oh.
Bruv, what?
Drug rug shitty shorts. Just drug rug shorts. They're like kind of.
You're
What this design is called?
Okay.
Uh huh.
Yeah, just you say drug rug over and over again. I never heard it before.
Drug rug.
Talking about like those sweatshirts?
No. Well, yeah,
like-
yeah. Like the kind that, like,
Sure.
you know, every
Yeah, like, oh, we need a drug dealer in this like
Yes.
mid
movie.
2000s
Right.
movie.
Yep,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly what that is.
Okay.
Yeah, and they sold it. Those things are not cheap. Like, you would think that those are like
a heavy-
$300,
yeah.
like big, heavy. You know, they say they're from like, I don't know, what's the place with alpacas? South America.
Oh, alpaca.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, Alpakistan. I forgot that's where that comes from.
Wait, where's the train?
Wow, the crowd, they're loving this. All right, we're going to cut into this. Welcome to Reasonable Beef.
It sounds like an angry cow.
Yeah,
it
it
sounds like
doesn't-
a cow that's here begrudgingly, like he wants the paycheck.
Yeah.
But he's not enjoying it.
Sounds like a cow that's voice and soul is eternally trapped in a small black box on my dirty kitchen table. That too. Welcome to
This
Reasonable
table is
Beef.
clean's than it normally is.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
this whole
you-
apartment's
you,
cleaner
You
than
have
it
been
usually
a
is.
very positive force for
Oh,
this.
thank you.
And I will introduce the show. Hey, welcome to Reasonable Beef. My name is Tim Kish. I'm here with my usual guy.
Me, Dom.
It's Dom. And who's our guest?
Brendan Krick. Hello.
Brandon Krick. Hello. He's my new roommate, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't spoil that. I should say that he's a talent that I have booked for the show.
Nope.
He's also that. He's very funny.
I'm very talented.
Or you just moved out to Los Angeles from Philadelphia?
Yeah. Just moved here from Philly. I do stand up, and I decided to fail at that here.
Yeah,
instead of
that's
back
very
there,
good.
You know?
Go Birds.
Oh yes.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I know you guys like that.
No,
None of us. I don't think any of us care
I did get
here.
I mean, I'm not a sports fan, but like watching the Super Bowl in South Philly, I got swept up in it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's what every
he
single
means, like-
person's. Oh yeah.
Like swept up into it. When
I'm not a very tall man, so when they were coming through,
I am a small man.
it was the next morning when they were sweeping.
No, it was very foreign to like be emotionally invested in a game.
Yeah,
It's never happened
Yeah, of
before.
course, man.
Yeah.
Now, everybody feels that way, but then you start to lie to yourself, like, do I like football? It's, no, you just like the
Yeah, you're right.
the absolute height of emotion that needs to happen is what needed to happen for you to feel anything at all.
Yeah, you're
So
right.
you're not gonna like football.
Yeah. I was
an
watching it. I was
underdog
like
thing.
texting my dad, like, I can relate to you now. Let's go back. I'll be 10 again. Let's play catch. We'll do it all over.
I won't fuck it up. I won't drop it this time, Dad.
He's like,
Mom won't leave again.
who dis?
Who new number?
number,
Who
who
dis?
dis?
Yeah.
I love you,
gosh.
Dad.
He's off playing catch with his new son.
It's a dog.
Way better, son.
Yeah. I've been replaced with an Airbud.
I've had a lot of friends like that has just had shitty relationships with their dad, and their dad moves away and gets a dog and turns into a totally different person, just like a kind, nice man, just a totally different guy. Whatever.
Well, my dad's kind of doing that now. But,
That's just your dad. You
No,
just
no,
were
no,
saying
no,
that. Like,
my
no, everyone
dad's-
has this.
I have a great
Everyone, all of
relationship
us.
with
My family, they waited until I moved here, and then they got a dog. I've wanted a dog my whole life.
Yeah, that's the worst shit.
Just 1 month before I leave Pennsylvania forever, they're like, "Oh yeah, we have a family dog now." I'm like, "What?" And my dad is just so sweet with this dog. It's crazy because I've never seen him access his emotions in any way and
No.
like visibly.
So is that totally random thing that I just pulled from my head completely applicable to your life?
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. My dad's just like this sweet old grandpa to this little dog. And
Yeah.
that's fucking yeah, jokes.
Good for
Lost
you.
my train of thought.
Yeah.
Good thing we can edit the show. Anyway, welcome. This week's episode, we're doing a Defenders of the Rotten. I think this is the 8th edition.
Yeah.
Of Defenders. Defendate of the Rotten. Please stop. We're gonna get. And we can't put this on YouTube every time you do that.
humming a song doesn't
That's
copyright.
true. I've literally put the Beatles at the end of
Yeah,
all
I was
these
about to say,
episodes. So I think we're fine. Yeah, Defenders of the Rotten. This is the game. You guys know what this is. You pick one movie considered bad by Rotten Tomatoes. You give it a new score, and you talk about why that's fucking bullshit. That it's
Hell yeah.
See, I curse, so you know it's a real adult show.
You know what? Yeah, dude. You know what's very cool? Curse words. Because when you say them, you sound cool.
Have you seen anything cool before we go into this? Has anyone seen anything that we just want to talk about cursily? Anything theaters?
I'm trying to
Out
think.
right now?
Didn't I just watched that Tragedy Girls movie last night? Did
Tragedy
you hear about
Girls?
that?
No, never
It
heard of it.
reminds
That
me.
title sounds like the kind of a movie that your girlfriend made you watch.
No. It's very like.
Especially also how completely on the nose of a title for a film. Tragedy Girls.
No.
I know exactly what this movie's
No,
about.
but you don't. That's the best
I'm riffing.
part.
Let me riff.
The
What's
whole
the movie
point
Do not
is,
let Tim riff.
No, Tim doesn't. I don't think you understand the situation here. Okay, this is a podcast where we talk about
No riffs.
no riffs at all.
right.
Okay,
Only the facts.
yeah.
So what's this movie?
It's about these two girls who are like following a serial killer around and are killing people themselves because when they do like the sympathy social media thing after someone dies in their school, they get like a bunch of followers and stuff, and they're really like terrible people.
That's cool.
Yeah. And it's funny. It reminds me of Scream Queens, which I also liked, but I fell off because I got bored. Because that was like it's a weird tone to do for longer
Right,
than like a little bit.
Yeah, the dark irony kind of like
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it
Scream Queens
grinds
was
down.
very funny, and this was funny too. But this was a little more of that. Like I would pull it back a little as far as like it kind of was funny. It kind of was being a goofy like slasher thing, but then sometimes it wasn't like serious, but it was obviously.
Is that from this year?
That was from last year.
Yeah, you know, directed.
I don't. It was like a first time thing. It was a smaller movie, but it was cool. It was cool.
I saw The New Strangers yesterday.
Oh, why?
Because Kelly likes shitty horror movies. So we went to it, and it's everything that you would expect. I've actually don't think I've seen a horror movie this bland. In like
Really?
a very, very
I thought
long
it was
time.
getting kind of good reviews, or am
No,
I
it's
confusing
like-
it with something else?
So a lot of the reviewers talk about how it kind of embraces irony, where it embraces like the ironic tropes of the horror movie. It really doesn't. It just does them. You know what I mean? Where it's like we're in that weird time where like we can't tell if someone's being ironic or they're just doing the thing
Right.
that they say that they're doing.
Yeah.
And it rides that line just enough that makes you go, wait a minute, I'm getting snookered here. This is just a bad movie. It's not pretending to be a bad movie.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's just, and I hate that I have to like
like,
do
no,
this. I
it's
hate
clever.
that we live in such an intense, ironic time that I have to like navigate the web of 7 layers of irony to
Right.
figure out if something's actually being earnest with me or not, or like actually is this really saying? Because they also talk about that it's it's a love letter to John Carpenter. No, it's not. It's that in the title card where it's like a big, super cool red 80s swirl. It comes up and it says The Strangers with a big moog. And the music is all 80s pop, and that's it.
Interesting. It's cool.
But not good.
I feel like all movies are just putting 80s music over it for
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
reason.
It's
Yes.
very much like a Stranger Things, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
Late
Nick and I were
80s
watching
specifically.
Good Time, and just the music for whatever reason is just 80s. Doesn't
Right.
really fit the tone at all.
I think maybe when it comes to like a drug caper, I think that works a little bit better because people just do associate 80s with it's like a drug thing, right? Good Time. I really need to see it. Nick talks about how fucking
Yeah, Nick says he loves it.
fantastical.
It took me
Robert
such a long
Pattinson.
time to get up the Rotten Tomatoes score of Jumper just then. Oh, wait. No.
You fucked up. Well, you might as well jump into it.
Oh!
Whoa!
Oh!
Damn, I hit
Which one did you mean to do?
I hit the wrong button.
It's like a really wet diarrhea fart.
Yeah.
It's longer than you want it to be.
Now that is somebody doing a fart. Like, why can't we just record somebody farting? It's not an actual.
I was
fart.
farting all morning. They should have had the mics out
That's
then.
true. Mm-hmm. If I could just
Yeah.
have a board of farts.
I'm unemployed, so I'm just eating like only scrambled eggs, and I tell you, it is destroying me. My body is in full rebellion against me.
Maybe just eggs don't agree
Yeah,
with your
I don't
body.
know. It's even like
Eat anything
it's
else.
even those dollar store eggs that come out like Gatorade color, like kind of neon.
Yeah, you shouldn't have those.
Yeah, I should be taking care of myself much better.
Yeah, it's I need to stop with these blue raz eggs. This is really starting to fuck me up. I remember that. Do you remember Grapples a couple years ago? Grape flavored apples.
fuck?
Do you remember that? Where they would just
No.
soak apples in grape juice, and it's like
What?
this shouldn't
Why would
be.
they do that?
It was good.
They
Yeah,
should
it
not.
sounds
They
do
were
alright.
that.
incredible. Okay, I'm sorry. So what's your movie?
I'm
What's your
doing
defend?
Jumper. 2008
Wow.
Jumper.
Wow. It's been 10
Directed
years?
by a guy and starring the boy.
Who actually? Do you know who directed it?
I don't know who directed it, but I know Hayden Christensen is in it.
Okay.
And this was either first thing after, if I'm not mistaken. I think this might have been the first thing he did after he was done Star Wars. I think.
Yeah, but this was like years after that, right?
When did Revenge of the Sith? 2000.
That was like 2008, I think.
No, not Sith. This was 2008.
Revenge of the Sith, I think, was 2006.
Yeah, 2005. You're right.
Oh, no, you're right. It is 2005
5?
because the DS game came out that year. And it was,
Oh, wow. Way to
That's how
bookmark
you
it.
frame this.
No, I just know the tying game.
And so here's the thing. Here's my whole thing with this movie. Now, this was for context on where in the timeline this movie hit me. We're talking September 2007. Heroes hit.
Right.
To jump back a little bit further, I'm gonna comfortably say maybe summer of 2005. I had seen Unbreakable.
Sure.
For the first time, and then right before then was Spider-Man 2. So I don't know if you're quite seeing the pattern of the things I'm picking here, but they're all like superpowers, but we're gonna be like a little
Right. And this was
serious
pre-Iron
about it.
Man too.
Pre-Iron
so this
Man.
was like before
Yes.
it was just a deluge of
This
superhero
is
shit.
what 3 months before Iron Man.
Right.
Jumper.
Cool.
So I was hungry for this. I was ready for it. And I remember the trailer for this is probably a big reason why I forgave it as much as I did. Because I remember being so thrilled. And I still think it looks cool. Like when it's the kid he's drowning. He's under the ice and he teleports into the library and a bunch of water comes with him. And like the way it's shot, it's that weird thing of like, the shot stays on him and everything around him sort of goes a little wonky, and then he's just like on the ground in the library. He's did I teleport? And he's like, now.
It's very 2008.
It's an amazing trailer. It's an amazing trailer. I love trailers from that time. I think they knew what they were doing, and
Yes.
we've strayed from God's path.
Mm-hmm.
The movie itself, like what I can appreciate about it is that it was like on purpose. And I'm going to get in a second to the book that this thing's fucking based on, because it's insane. I talked about this before, I think, on Beef, the insane adaptation that this is.
Right.
But the movie itself, like, is making a point to be like, if this kid got these powers and he didn't, like, he fucking hates his dad, he doesn't have a tragedy thing happen to him, he hates his town, everybody hates him, the girl he loves doesn't like him. This kid's just, like, he was just basically like, oh, I'm gonna steal a bunch of money and do whatever I want and fuck a lot of people. Sick.
That's what I do if I had
And so he
powers.
steals, he robs a bunch of banks. And then like you cut ahead, he's Hayden Christensen. He's living in this incredible apartment in New York. I like the limiting the rule of that he needs to he needs to see a picture of where he's going, or he needs to have been there before, or he can't jump there. So like even when he robs the first bank, he pretends he's like a kid doing a report, and they like take him into the vault for like a tour, and he's like, okay, now I've been here, and he can just jump in. And then they make a point, like there's this, you see him watching TV in the beginning of the movie, and it's like a flood or tsunami hits somewhere, and there's all these people stuck on the roofs of their houses, and it's like no one can reach them. It's not enough space for the helicopters, blah blah blah. And you watch him like actively change the channel, even though we know he's got he could be a superhero, he could go and like save people's lives, and he's like, nah, fuck that, I'm gonna do whatever I want. And then you have, of course, then there's the fucking stupid people who are coming and hunting him. Samuel L. Jackson is in this as
the Paladins.
The fucking Paladins. And it's a harmless movie. Like,
sure, it's a Powers movie.
It's a Powers movie, and it's
before that became passe.
The action is good enough. I would say above average for like what it is doing. Like there's a jumper fight.
Right.
They introduce it. There's another. He meets someone else who can jump, and they have this crazy like jumping to like the beach, and they're running across the beach, and then they jump, and then they're in like a fucking power station.
I actually wanted to bring that up because the other character's name is Griffin. And the reason I remember this is because the Xbox 360 game is so funny. You guys need to look this up, because the box art for this, first of all, is just a picture, like a still from the movie that they use. They use the title card of the movie, and for the subtitle, Griffin's Story is just the default Microsoft Word font.
It's like Arial. It's like Arial.
Look at that. That is Arial 10-point font.
It's insane.
That is unbelievable. I actually want
this
to
whole
make that the
time
cover.
I was thinking of Looper the whole time I've been listening to you.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Which I've also
Jumper
not
Looper.
seen. So I was just like, and
Super duper.
This
where's
must be what
Bruce
happened.
Willis come into this?
He's way later.
But this movie does have a pretty solid cast. Michael Rooker was in this before he was like
Who was he in it?
He was one of the
That was
Paladins. Or no, he was
the
the
dad,
dad. Yes, yeah, he was the dad, and
Weird.
Sam Jackson is in it.
I love that when you weren't familiar with someone who like.
Yeah, Michael
And
Rooker was around, but he wasn't like.
And then you all of a sudden you have like your memories all of a sudden
Yep.
are in color. You're like, oh, that was the guy.
That was him. Yeah, you do that IRL. Hang on, let me look at the gas. Oh, Rachel Bilson.
Is she
I don't know
who's
who that
the? Because I know the main girl. I forget her name. Is the girl from Vampire?
That's probably it then.
What's it called?
Vampire.
True Blood. I want to bite you. I want to do bad things. To use the title song. But yeah, it's like such a like whatever movie. This is very much a movie that if you put it on, if it was on FX, has the movies, and you put that on in the middle of the afternoon, and it's like a fine time. Mm-hmm. It's not asking too much of you. It's not trying to do too much. It's not trying to be bonkersly emotional or anything. It's just like, dude, and he has to go back to his hometown, and everyone thought he died when he fell under the ice. So it was like you have that cool thing of people being like, Jesus. Like, we thought maybe you got out, but if you did, you just ran away and we never saw you again. And then he's just back in town. And Now, here's what I'll say. As adaptations go, and I'm sorry if you've been listening to Beef for a long time because I don't remember when I talked about this, but I'm sure I did. The book that this is based on, here's a few things to know from what I've just said. There is one jumper in the world, and it's the guy. There's only one. There are no paladins. And nothing else that happens in the movie happens in the book from the beginning. From
other than the
So
fact
it's
that there's
basically
a
just the
guy-
premise.
it's
Yeah.
literally just like the names of the people and that there's a kid who just starts to teleport. But then in like the most gruesome Hollywood fashion, they were like, well, there's got to be more of them across the world. Like, what if,
Right.
You open and there's a kid in the jungle who's a jumper and he gets killed by the paladins and like,
Sure.
who the fuck are where did the paladins come from? So, but and then the movie ends, spoilers, close your ears for like 10 seconds. The movie ends and you find out that his mother is a paladin. And like that was why she left the family and stuff. So he finds her finally, but she's like, you need to go because it's like my duty to hunt you. Mm-hmm. Fine. I don't care. Weirdly, Kirsten, what's her name?
Kristen Stewart, yeah.
Kristen Stewart is at the end as like the daughter of his mother, like in this new family. Strange. She says like two things, so I guess she wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah.
And then it plays "Jump" by Van Halen.
Yeah.
I wish if they had the
It's
balls.
only things, yeah.
It would be a straight 100% on Rotten Tomatoes in my book.
Jump! Like, oh, okay. The whole soundtrack.
But I'm reading the
Yeah,
book.
it's just
Some
all,
of the
all
things
jump
related
songs.
to jump, yeah.
But I'm reading the fucking book, and I'd read it after I'd seen the movie. And the whole time, so it became pretty clear pretty early that there weren't paladins, or if
Yeah.
there were, they were really holding it off on me.
I woke up in my bed tired. I realized that there was no Samuel L. Jackson or paladins in this book. My mother, there's no other jumper in the world. I'm the only one. That's weird that I thought that.
Weird that that's in this
This is becoming
book.
very clear very quickly that this is different.
And I'm going through the whole book the whole time, and but what I didn't realize was that they just straight up like weren't gonna be in it at all. I
Yeah.
thought it was a thing it was saving for the end.
So then
like
what's the main problem?
he kind of is just jumping around. There's a weird scene where he's like hitchhiking and he almost gets raped by a trucker and teleports away. It's very interesting.
Damn, they
There's-
really should have that in the movie.
They
Yeah,
did a
that's- I
thing.
mean-
I think I guess at this in 2008 it was like a little too soon, but they were. This is also a thing that we were 9 when 9/11 happened, right? And trust me, I'm going somewhere here. I know that was like out of left field, but
yeah,
so
what
we
if,
couldn't possibly have been involved,
Right,
right?
no,
None
but
of
it's
us-
like
what if he had jumped onto the planes?
no. But here's the thing: there is a whole like part of this book where you're reading about how there are like terrorists are hijacking planes and they're not crashing them, but they're hijacking them and then holding everybody on the plane hostage. So like they're landing somewhere. And that was like a thing. And I didn't know that.
yeah.
I found this out, after reading Jumper, as most people do.
Okay.
That's how they are introduced to
Yeah, that's how I learned about
international
9/11.
terrorism. And there's
I
a
was reading
whole
the Spiderwick Chronicles, and I'm like, you guys heard about this?
wait a second.
Yeah, I was reading it, and then just mid-paragraph it said, "Turn on the news." And I did.
Super scary.
Damn, dude. Anna Karenina is wild.
But they did. There's a whole sequence where he jumps onto a hijacked plane and is like one by one jumping the hijackers out of the plane over like a waterfall somewhere. So like he jumps midair, lets go of them, they fall to their deaths or into the fucking pool of water that they're landing in, and then he jumps midair back onto the plane and grabs another terrorist and stuff. So it does like these really like high concept weird things, but it plays it very straight the whole time. Like I think a lot of it was like him meeting a girl that's not the girl in the movie from his hometown. It's
right.
It's very different.
Sure.
But Jumper's not a fucking 16%, man. Like that's brutal.
16?
Yeah, that's brutal.
Oh my
low.
goodness. What would you give it?
I don't know if I have the heart or the balls to put it to totally rotten, but like if I watched this and then went on and saw that it was at like a 58 or a 55, I'd be like, that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, so like a 40% difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I would give this the rotten, but like halfway kind of like,
Sure.
It's whatever. It's a harmless,
Right.
It's a not so great, it's an X-Men movie that's like subpar.
I think sometimes a movie comes along that's so like whatever that it like offends you, it pisses you off, and you really go and lay into it.
How was Hayden Christensen's performance in it?
Good.
He's fine. Like I don't also have a I don't have a big problem with him. I never really did. I don't really understand like if we want to go into this weird like the people who hate on people who were in Star Wars the prequels.
Let's talk about
do you think
let's
it's
talk
like
about who
prequel hate
directed.
kind of trickling over into
I
this
think
movie?
so. I also don't understand because it's the same people who want to say that the prequels themselves are like tragedies to film and planet Earth.
Right. But I mean, look,
Then how do you blame?
I don't
if you
think anybody in that movie can be blamed because Lucas directed the movies. Right?
Yeah, well, they're also
So like at the end of the day, it's his call.
you
of
listen to what everyone
performance
is
happening.
saying in those movies. Every line of dialogue in those movies, almost every line, is pretty fucking
Excruciating. Yeah.
and it's like so I don't know how you ever blamed the people. I don't know, but people are stupid. It's the thing.
No, I
It's
get
the
it.
people
Yeah,
who
like-
think the actors are making up the movie.
Yeah,
as they-
exactly.
right.
Everything happens to you as it's happening. There's no
Right.
further reflection. I don't know. I that is funny. Like I don't want to sound like one of these, as I want to do.
yeah.
But somebody did ask me the other day, like, how do you develop the skill of like trying to see what the hands behind the movie are doing versus what's actually happening in front of you? And I don't really know how to answer that question. It's just kind of you analyze what's being said to you, and you kind of look at why it might be being said to you.
Yeah, I
And it's
think
the
if
kind of
you,
thing of
but
Star
it's-
Wars,
but
where
it's us having like written and you've been behind stuff before, so you start to see like beginning to end how things come to fruition or whatever.
I guess that's
and
true.
we watched. You were DVD special features kind of person. Me too. Like
Yeah.
you hear enough of like if you watch all these interviews and you're hearing people talk, and then you're like, it's just like the comparing thing. You're hearing how they spoke about it before you watch the movie, and then you watch it and you're like, hang on. That wasn't exactly.
You fucked up somewhere.
What you thought was going on was not what was going on.
Oh, that's why I love watching DVD special
I
features for
know.
a bad movie. And
Yeah,
they're
man.
so psyched about it.
Yeah.
They're so happy
I am-
to have been involved in Van Helsing. They're so psyched about it.
I am haunted by the Spider-Man 3 promotional material.
Oh, yeah.
It like
Do they all think it's gonna be great?
Oh man, the way they talk
Avi
about
Arad
it.
comes out looking like a sultan of Arabia. Like there's like a million jewels
Fucking
hanging
gold.
It's the greatest film.
His tiara.
Looks like Xerxes.
Damn, dude, Xerxes.
good pull.
But yeah,
okay,
so
56.
56, let's
Sure.
say. Yeah.
For 58, whatever. You want to go?
Sure.
What's your defense?
I'm gonna go with MacGruber.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never seen MacGruber.
Do you know what year that came out?
I think it was 2010.
Okay.
And what I'm curious is, when did Wet Hot come out? Because I feel like
2001.
2001.
It's old, yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I feel like that whole decade kind of that was like my mom always used to say this about movies. She'd be like, "Oh, that movie's dumb." Like I think people didn't really give comedies that freedom to like be stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
At that time, they thought
Critically,
yeah.
at least.
They
Yeah.
thought like, "Oh, every movie has to be death at a funeral or something."
Sure.
Like, every comedy. But it's just like it's a dumb, very fun movie.
Right.
I like me and Nick were talking about this last night. Like I like that it's nothing like the SNL sketch and also nothing like MacGyver. So like you would have no ability to like walk into it with any preparation for what you're about to see.
I was directed by Jorma from Lonely Island.
Oh, it
right?
was?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That
That makes sense.
It's very
So
fun.
I just watched Pop Star and I can see that general kind of.
I
I
like
still
Pop
haven't
Star.
seen Pop Star.
Oh, it's very
It's
good.
funny.
And like I love what you're saying about like the stupid comedies, those were the ones that ended up being the most influential. You talk about Adam Sandler comedies from the 90s, all critically panned, all incredibly influential in in most
I don't know.
comics
I
today.
think like sometimes if you have a comedy and like the emotions are there and the plot and everything makes sense, like that can help it. But more often than not, I think like just go for the joke every single time.
Yeah,
and that's what this movie does. Is it's just Will Forte screaming and naked and like.
Well, as long as you don't try to have your cake and eat it too, right? As long as you're not trying to pretend that there's some kind of emotional through line, it's this, and that's what I really do like about Wet Hot American Summer is that every time you start to think or feel an emotion, they're like, no,
Yeah.
you forgot what this is. This is gonna be now. There's a talking can of vegetables. Like that's what this is all about.
No, my favorite kind of comedy movie is kind of take after like Airplane, where it's just only bits.
Yes.
Yeah. Joke to joke to joke
Don't
to
you
joke.
dare get invested in these characters.
It's a comedy fucking, I don't know.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying, but I do like a good comedy drama. I do like but I think a good drama is a comedy drama. You know what I mean? Where it will have laughs along the way and make you laugh because you love these characters and go see what they're going through.
Yeah, you watch like Breaking Bad or Sopranos.
Huge laughs.
There's laughs in there.
Huge laughs. Yeah. Like and laughs at like 4 seasons of build up for this laugh. You know what I mean? You got to know this character so well and they say this and it's just you're in tears. I wish I could come up with an example of that, but you guys don't.
It's like that episode of Breaking Bad where Walter White, he looks into the lens, he bends over and I've cursed. Yeah.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite line from Breaking Bad.
And then
I have cancer.
He looks over and his son is like,
why is he like that?
Because his belly hurts.
Are you saying that disabled people are animals, Dom?
Uh-oh, problematic alarm.
Can there be a problematic
something
sound?
wrong. Yeah. I did like the bit about. Let's talk about MacGruber. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was based on an SNL sketch, right? Do you know who wrote it originally? Anything like that?
No, I don't really know anything about this movie, like behind the scenes.
Oh, okay.
helpful?
Yeah.
Good. So it was a budget of $10 million, which is
Wow, that's low for a
sure, but it's like a comedy, like a shitball.
Yeah, but even ones where even a comedy that's like has the what's the word veneer of a big action thing, like that's low to me. That surprises me.
Let me ask you guys something. Has an SNL movie ever done well? Like, is there any ones that are critically
like performed well?
Yeah,
I don't
or, like
know.
Critically,
I don't know
acclaimed?
how does Night at the Roxbury do. I never seen that
probably
either.
did the best financially. But I can't think of another SNL thing.
Yeah.
It's Pat. Can you believe they did a whole movie about It's Pat?
They
I don't know what
did?
you're talking about.
No.
Oh my God! It's Pat is a character.
They
I guess
should reboot
mildly
that now.
transphobic.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, like it would
No.
never work out. It's a character.
That holds up.
There's this gender
funnier now.
ambiguous person named Pat, and like everything about this person is like people trying to figure out what gender they are, and they're like asking leading questions about like the person they're in love with, and their significant other shows up, and it's also like a genderless, absolute like.
Yeah, I know
It's
that's
just-
you know,
But every single,
but like you know.
every single joke is mean. Like almost every single one, and it's an hour and a half feature film. It's pretty excruciating. What else was there? Was what's the one with Molly Shannon?
Grinch.
Superstar, right? Was that what it's called? Where she's like,
even know.
Superstar. Yeah,
that's what it was. Yeah. Also pretty fucking excruciating.
yeah, where she makes out with like a tree or some shit.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
Trailers.
Yeah, that was where
Whatever.
my the famous Don Farrah tree fetish
Yeah.
was birthed. Everyone knows this about me.
I don't know you very well. Is this true? Is this a bit?
Yes. Yeah, I love trees in a big way.
Well,
I
don't
wish there
do
was
that.
a sound. I wish there was a. Oh, there we go.
Can we get one for also because I feel like it can work for like problematic stuff, but can also work for just anything if it's just like a really deep voice going, "Hold on." Can we get that?
Hold up.
No, not that voice. That's not.
That would need the yeah, that would need it after that.
What's wrong with that voice? Yo,
Yeah.
man.
We need a secondary problematic sound for when our problematic sound is problematic.
Yes. Okay. Do you have anything else to say about MacGruber? Any other thoughts? Pacific gags?
Nah, not
Pacific
really.
gags? No gags you
the
like?
celery gag. That's good.
Celery gag.
He's running around with celery
Explain
in
it.
his ass.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Great gag.
pretty good gag.
right.
I don't know. The most memorable gag to me is when it has like the getting the crew back together sequence, and then they all die immediately.
Just haven't even seen it. That sounds
Yeah,
incredibly
yeah.
funny. I should get around to watching this. Yeah. MacGruber.
So what's it at?
Yeah. Do you know?
I think it was at like 50%.
Oh, so what would you bring it?
I don't think it's at 50%. I think it's way lower than
Way
that.
lower?
Hang on. Let's pull it up. My phone's busted. Great. I love this thing that my phone does where it's just like, hey, you wanted the keyboard up all the time, right? Just
Yeah.
because?
Oh, you didn't need to see all that other shit, right?
Okay. Does somebody else look this up for me? Because this is not working. Okay. Oh, now that I want to search, no, I guess you don't want the
What
keyboard.
are you doing? Oh, we no one
Look
else is-
up
okay.
the fucking score.
I put it on airplane to
promise.
stay engaged.
Wow, wrong move there.
Sometimes you need to pull data.
Ah.
Uh-huh.
All right, come on now. MacGruber. 47. I did it too.
Wow, it's really that high? 47 on Rotten Tomatoes? What would you give it versus 47?
I'd give it like a 70.
Wow,
It
okay.
has a
But
34
I also,
audience.
I
Yeah,
do
that
not
is
look
weird.
at Rotten Tomatoes. Is 70 a lot? Is that?
No, I mean, it's up to you.
It's
This
like-
is all bullshit anyway because it's an
Yeah.
aggregate score of like a bunch of other people. So if somebody could see like, it was okay, 6 out of 10, that's a very positive score to Rotten Tomatoes. So it counts as a
Yeah.
All
Is
right.
it
I'm
red?
just going to
70.
stick with that. Yeah.
Sure.
Very good.
30. That's good.
What are you doing, Tim Kish?
I'm going to do Ace Ventura Pet Detective. Perfect. From 1994. Hang on, let me.
Ah, yes. Good year.
Can somebody look this
I
up?
was
I
when I
think it's a
learned
44%.
I learned how to do in the toilet, I think. I don't know. How old are you when you learn how to
2.
poop?
I don't
in
know.
the- Yeah, I was 2.
When did
so-
you learn how to shit? Who taught you how to shit? Who
I
taught you your shitting technique?
That was my grandfather.
probably like a kindly neighbor.
Oh, okay. Now watch close, son. This is how you make a pretzel. Here we go. Oh, okay, it's a Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, 1994 movie. Who directed this bitch?
Tom Shadyac, right?
Oh yeah, it is Tom Shadyac. Yeah, we watched this documentary a couple weeks ago. What was the name of that documentary?
I don't know if I actually have ever seen the doc, but I remember reading a really long article thing
Right.
about how he like
Yeah, he directed
he
these
had an
Jim Carrey
injury
comedies.
and
Yeah.
he started to become very like planetary environmentally aware, and like
Right.
Evan Almighty was this huge movie and they were like so conscious of their footprint, and
Right. Yeah, they spent $200 million on Evan Almighty. That's how the budget.
and then he
for
stopped
that
making
movie.
movies after that.
And he
lives in a
realized
trailer.
when they were building an actual arc, he's like, maybe
Hang on.
Hollywood is wasteful.
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't super great. But at the same time, I mean, we talked about this, I think, a couple episodes ago, where he's like, you know, I'm really against waste, and I think that this is totally outrageous. I'm just going to go live in my $5 million mansion still and still have a bunch of money.
No, but then he moved out.
No, but he still has a fuckload of money. Like, it's
I'm
not like he's
sure he
living
has
like
a
a
lot of-
pauper.
But he like lives in a trailer. Like
A very nice trailer
I'm
in,
sure
in
it-
Beverly Hills.
no, I don't know about
No,
that.
he does.
I thought he lived
still
in
lives
like near the
LA.
beach.
We'll pull it up. Whatever. 1994, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, has a 44% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
This movie is an absolute classic, and Jim Carrey is, of course, very funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's, of course, a vehicle for him to be silly and do a bunch of outrageous shit. There's a part where he's acting like a mentally disabled ex-football
Yes.
player in a tutu, and he's thank you. And he's running around just doing silly faces. You could easily watch this movie and go, okay, this is just Jim Carrey being stupid, and that's the whole point of the movie. But I think I've seen this movie about like 6 or 7 times in my life. It's actually an all right caper. You know what I mean?
yeah.
The mystery
Yeah.
aspect of it is totally fine. It's very strange. It's
Yeah.
about like somebody steals the Dolphins mascot, Snowflake.
Yeah.
And there's just, it goes a lot of places. The locations that they shoot in, you know, they're on a beach. They're all around LA. They're like in a mansion. They're in this huge aquarium pool. It's just very, very varied of a movie. Not everyone's really. Jim Carrey's pretty much the only funny part of this movie, and that's something that's kind of whatever. Where all of your comedy is focused on this one character coming in, but also there's something beautiful to that formula where everyone else is a normal person, but you have this one fucking cartoon
Insane, yeah.
that just wrecks everything. But he's just so attractive and charming, and everybody likes him.
I've never seen this, but I tried to watch it a couple weeks ago, and just the pace of the first scene bothered me so much.
Are you serious? That's such a funny scene where he's
And
where
he's
he has
kicking
the
the-
package and he's just smashing it against things.
I don't know. It just seemed really belabored to me.
I
don't
guess
know.
so, but
I didn't care for
it's
it.
also like an early '90s movie where you're like running title cards.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be
every
like,
movie used to like you watch like Caddyshack now, and the first like 5 minutes is just him biking with like a song playing.
And then there's like there's always a saxophone. It's like as everybody who made the movie's name appears on screen. And I can see why that might bug you, but I think it's just as a piece of physical comedy, that is so fucking funny. You know, he puts it between his legs and gets on a handstand and hurls it with his feet into the elevator.
Yeah.
The doors closing, obviously way too hard on the package, is very funny. There's just so much shit in the movie. Like you say you like Airplane, and the physical comedy in this is just so fucking funny. I know people got worn out on Jim Carrey, I guess pretty quickly. Maybe not pretty quickly. He just kind of went crazy within 5 movies between 1994. Because this is the same year of The Mask, right?
Yeah,
You're
he probably
getting
got
too
vaccinated
wacky.
and then
And then just mellow it out. That's why. But I think that this, in a lot of ways, this is better than The Mask. It's just like it works better as a movie. I think all the points that it hits make more sense. It does end on one huge transphobic joke, right?
Yes.
Where he kissed a trans woman and he's like putting a plunger on his face and sucking out. I mean,
Didn't he, like,
it's
sleep with
pretty
her?
funny. No, I think he just makes out with her.
Oh.
And then the bit is that like everyone finds out that she was a man and everyone made out with her. And so like every single person at the last, like all of the cops at the last final
Good.
showdown. And like, look, yeah, it's a transphobic joke. Yes, it's mean. It's pretty funny to watch like everybody like scraping their
Freaking
tongue.
out.
And he's like sitting there crying in the fucking
know.
shower.
It is weird.
It
It's
is.
a weird. It's
Yeah.
a
Even
it's a different time.
it was.
I don't think
was
it's a better
different
movie
time.
than The Mask, though. That's all.
Sure. Yeah, I guess there's definitely less trans jokes in The Mask. Probably like 100% less trans jokes in The Mask.
Yeah, weirdly, he doesn't ever like Bugs Bunny cross dress.
That's true.
Isn't
I
that
don't
weird
think
how
he
we got away with that in The Mask?
It's probably in Jim Carrey's rider. It's like, I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not a broad. Okay, you don't do that to me. All right. We're at the tutu,
Yeah, the tutu.
but I need to have a dress shirt on
Yeah,
so that everyone knows.
like a man.
But yeah, so this is a 44. I'd kick it up like 20.
Well, it's
because
always-
it's not for everyone.
It's crazy when anything that's
and
that,
it has an age super.
that classic or that much ingrained in stuff, it has a low
Right.
or like didn't get great reviews. Like that's always insane. And it's a lot of these. We talk about it a lot. It's a lot of the comedy ones.
Yeah, pretty much every Adam Sandler movie that's not The Wedding Singer.
Yeah.
Because it's every other Adam Sandler movie is not like functional. The Wedding Singer is the only
Sure.
one that is like a functional
Like a
movie.
movie, yeah.
And I think that's pretty.
Same with The Mask,
accurate.
honestly. Is like The Mask was also like it's almost a superhero movie. It's
Right.
almost like
It's
got
true.
a very straight line of him almost getting caught by the police and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Comedy ages very funny, and maybe it's just the world gets more sensitive or just
the
much
ultimate
more
joke.
more intellectual. But it is funny to be watching an older movie, and just laughing and laughing and laughing, and then someone makes like a joke about like beating up your wife.
Yeah,
It's
and you're like, whoa.
that was and not even like in an ironic way.
Yeah, no.
And so I think you do have to temper your expectations when it comes to stuff like this. But I think overall it's very funny. You'll have a good time.
Totally.
Jim Carrey's being a clown. And if you haven't seen it, fucking don't watch the second one. It's really not nearly as funny.
You know what does stick with me though from the second one?
Steve Odekirk, because he did Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I like though in the beginning when he finds him in the temple and he screams in his face. The guy's like coming to find him and he's like looks like he's in a trance and he just goes. "Ah!"
Well, it's 6 times more cartiny. Like the whole
Yes,
thing is
that
like,
one's insane.
They're moving towards. They later did do a cartoon, an Ace Ventura cartoon, but he's birthed out of a rhino's ass. There's the scene
Yeah.
with the 2 spears in his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bumblebee
It's-
tuna. That's good.
These
Good
are
shit.
and like it has good gags, but I think overall it's just very much more sophomoric.
So what did you bring?
Can't put anything you're saying into like pictures. It's baffling.
Oh,
to
it
remember.
comes out of a rhino's. Have you not seen the second one?
No, I've never seen any of it.
I can't believe that. Anyway, did you see Operation Dumbo drop?
No.
Okay,
Fuck's that?
never seen. It's like whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah,
which
I'll
one?
give it a 60 zigs from a 44.
Copy.
Yeah,
All right.
and that was that.
Wait, which one's appropriate here? I think this.
All right, so what we're gonna. All right, so we're gonna play 2 games. The first is predictive text
All
movie
right.
review. Get your phone out because we're gonna play a fun little game.
I didn't do that song.
All right.
That's okay. There's still time.
Is there?
So the way this game works is that we type in the name of the movie that we just talked about. Mine will be Ace Ventura. Yours will be whatever that was when I was listening. And yours will be MacGruber. And then you
Where do I type this in, like a text?
Yeah, and literally anything. And then you build a review out of the predictive text options that your phone gives you. Right? Do you have predictive text on?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, I got mine.
Okay, mine didn't work out quite so good here. Mine is Ace Ventura Pet Detective, a good night's sleep for the first place I looked. Well, all right.
It really pushes like the good day, good night.
Yeah, I don't know
stuff.
why.
It does that a lot.
Yeah.
I guess I just say that.
I was afraid that some kind of like slur was gonna pop up that I type on. All right. MacGruber was a nice day to get lunch today, and then I'll meet up for lunch.
Oh my gosh.
Mine. Well, you can pick like the three options,
No,
right?
but sometimes you just don't know where it's
right.
going to go after
So you
that,
take
and like
it-
you
right.
just get kind of backed into a corner.
I got Jumper is still very cool stuff, and it's a good idea. But maybe I'll have a couple more beers.
That was all right. All right, and then we'll close this out with the three-headed critic. On I don't know, what's one of these movies that we've all seen? Did you see Jumper?
No.
I don't think any of us have seen all of the movies. Let's pick. What's a movie that we've all seen recently? What's something you've seen recently?
Just gonna do like a random like
Yeah, we'll do any movie.
some fucking movie.
How about The Sopranos? You like The
I've
Sopranos?
never seen The Sopranos.
Oh,
Tim.
motherfucker.
All right,
Okay,
let's just do it. Let's
what's
do The
something we've all
Sopranos. We're
seen?
doing it.
No. We need to pick something we've all seen. What have we all seen?
Has everybody seen like Star Wars?
Hell yeah! All right, so
Right.
Star Wars
The
episode.
first Star Wars
episode four.
episode 4. Here we
Yeah.
go. The three-headed critic. This basically works like everybody says one word about the movie, and we move it in a circle until it's a complete
Okay.
thought about the movie. Okay,
All right.
so you'll kick it off, Dom, me. You.
Star Wars.
Is that we're doing that? Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
okay.
Hasn't
Been
A
big
thing
for
anyone's
parents
yet
but
when
Jews
Dom.
start. Come on.
There. We're gonna reset. Dom. All right, it's gonna go Dom, Brendan, me, Dom.
You know what? No, I'm gonna continue it. When they start their antics, Jew antics. What kind of listener base do you have?
I'm very aware. Yes. Okay. Great. Dom, kick it off. Dom, me.
Is it still fucking Star
No,
Wars?
yes,
A New
we're
Hope.
still doing Star Wars Episode 4. A
Oh,
New
we're
Hope.
starting over.
Yeah. Yes, we are. Unfortunately.
When
I
Saw
how
that
group
did
not
behave
it
made
me
want
to
control
every
media. I can say it. As long as you guys aren't saying it.
I hit the cheers. I didn't mean to. That was the wrong button.
Do we want to? Okay. Do we
All
want
right.
to keep going on that one, or do we want to reset?
Jesus Christ.
All right, I think we're gonna reset one last time. I'll start it.
What are you doing to beef?
Yeah.
What have you done?
This was a family show. Until then,
Why
Bam
did you put
Heaves
me on
moved
this?
in.
You know what I'm like, Tim.
Dom, Brendan, and me, and this will be the last one.
Okay.
The
Aryan?
Oh wait, are we going?
No, okay.
Counterclockwise?
Dom, go.
the
Thing
About
space.
is
you
Absolutely
cannot
have.
any.
Don't do this to me.
don't any fun.
Unless
There
is
more
than
one
Star
war.
Good. Perfect. Why the fuck not? Thank you so much for listening to Reasonable Beef. If you like what you heard here, please go to www.patreon.com/reasonablebeef. Give what you can. $1 gives you access to bonus beef, which will happen next week. We'll record a new one next week. We know we owe you guys, I think, 2. So we'll get them soon.
I like this
Thank you so
board.
much, Brendan Krick, for joining us.
Yeah, I had fun.
Do
Thank
you have
you.
anything to push? Any shows coming up?
Yeah, I'll be at Flappers on the 31st.
Cool. Of March.
Yeah, March 31st. Follow me on Twitter at BarndogCark. I just put out a sketch yesterday. Watch that.
Oh, cool.
I just
Okay.
tweeted about it. All right.
Brad.
You'll find it.
Yeah, Brendan
No
Krick.
one will find it.
And Dom, you have anything? Anything to talk about? Good.
Put out some music. Listen to my song.
Or do you have a new album or just single song?
It's just a song.
Well, that's cool.
It's on YouTube.
Listen to the song. Thank you so much. I've been Tim Kish. This has been Reasonable Beef. You've been the listener. Have a great night.
Bye.
Me too. Hold on.
Christ on a fucking crutch.